The Panther's Heart. My name is T'Challa, son of T'Chaka, king of Wakanda, the Black Panther. These are my titles. They are hung upon me like a heavy coat, woven from vibranium and history. You see the crown, you see the mask, you see the king standing before the world, offering a hand that was hidden for centuries. But I want you to see the man, the boy who used to run through the fields of the Golden City, long before he knew what a throne was, or what it cost. I remember the warmth of the Sunday, the smell of the soil after the rain. My father's hand was so large, it could cover my entire back. It felt like a shield. I thought nothing in the world could ever break through it. We are taught from birth that we are special, that Wakanda is a jewel, a gift from the Panther goddess Bast, protected from the chaos of the outside world. We were a perfect circle, unbroken. We had the technology to heal the world, to feed it, to give it clean energy for 1,000 years. And we kept it all to ourselves. We called it wisdom. We called it protection. But a paradise with walls is still a cage. I did not understand this then. I was proud. I was a prince, and my father was the greatest man I had ever known. He was wise, and he was just. He was my hero. And then I watched him die. It was not in battle. It was not a noble end on a field of honor, fighting for his people. It was a bomb, in a building, surrounded by men who were talking about peace. It was fire, and smoke, and a silence that was louder than any scream. In that moment, the world did not just go quiet, it went cold. The shield that was my father's hand vanished, and for the first time in my life, I felt the wind. I was no longer a prince, I was an orphan, and I was a king. But before I was a king, I was a son who wanted revenge. The world showed me a face, the face of the Winter Soldier, and I believed it. I hunted him. I put on the suit, the mantle of the Panther, not to protect, but to punish. The spirit of the Panther is a noble one. It is the guardian of our people, but I wore it like a shroud of anger. Every step I took was fueled by that fire in my chest, the one that started in that building in Vienna. I wanted him to feel what I felt, the loss, the emptiness. I chased him, I fought his allies. I told myself it was for justice, for my father, for Wakanda, but it was only for me. The truth is a difficult thing. It is not always a bright light. Sometimes, it is a small, ugly thing you find in the dark. I cornered the man who had truly killed my father, Zemo. He was not a super soldier. He was not a monster. He was just a man, like me. A man who had lost his family. He was broken by grief, and his grief had turned into a poison that he wanted the whole world to drink. He looked at me, in my panther suit, this great symbol of power, and he won. He had turned us all against each other, and as he tried to take his own life, I saw my own reflection. I saw the same poison in my own heart. Vengeance had consumed him, and it was consuming me. So I stopped him. I saved his life. I took him to be judged, not by my hand, but by the law. And I walked away, not with satisfaction, but with a cold understanding. I had learned that justice and vengeance are not the same river. One flows to the sea, to a larger purpose. The other circles back on itself, until it becomes a stagnant pool. I returned home to become king. I performed the ritual. I drank the juice of the heart-shaped herb, and I was buried in the red earth of our homeland. And I saw him again, my father, in the ancestral plane. The sky is always a deep, star-filled purple. The spirits of all the Black Panthers who came before me are there, sitting in the branches of a great baobab tree. But I only had eyes for him. He was proud of me. He told me I was ready. He told me I was a good man, and I believed him. I wanted to believe him. I asked him, was I a good man like him? He said I was. He said I would be a great king because he had prepared me. But he did not prepare me for the truth. He did not prepare me for his sins. Our father's legacy is not just the lessons he teaches you. It is also the secrets he keeps. My father, T'Chaka, the wise king, the hero, he had made a terrible mistake, a mistake born of fear. He had a brother, my uncle, who went to the outside world and saw the suffering of our people, scattered and forgotten. My uncle wanted to use our technology, our weapons, to free them, to fight back. My father saw this as a betrayal. He went to confront him, and he killed him. He left his own brother to die in a small apartment, thousands of miles from home. But that was not the worst of it. He left behind a child, my uncle's son, a boy named Njadaka, a Wakandan boy with royal blood, left alone in a world that would teach him only hate and pain. He left my cousin to grow up with nothing but a story of a paradise he could never reach. This was the secret my father buried. This was the lie our perfect, unbroken circle was built upon. And one day, that lie came home. He walked into our throne room with the body of an enemy and a story I could not believe. He had a fire in his eyes that I recognized. It was the same fire I felt when my father died, the fire of vengeance. But his fire had been burning for a whole lifetime. We called him Eric Killmonger, but his name was Njadaka. He was family. He challenged me for the throne, by our laws, by our traditions, and he beat me. He was strong, ruthless, trained by the very world we had hidden from. He threw me from the top of the warrior falls, and he took my throne. He took my power. He became the Black Panther, and I understood why. Everything he said was true. We had hidden. We had hoarded our gifts, while our brothers and sisters across the world suffered. We let the world burn, as long as the fire did not touch our borders. He was not a monster. He was a consequence. He was the ghost of our choices, come back to haunt us. He was my father's sin, made of flesh and blood. I survived the fall, and when I came back, I did not come back for the throne. I did not come back for power. I came back for my people, because his pain had twisted him. He wanted to burn the whole world down, just as it had burned him. He wanted to become the monster they had made him. I could not let that happen. We fought, Panther against Panther, cousin against cousin. We fought in the heart of Wakanda, over the very vibranium that had kept us safe, and hidden, and ignorant. In the end, I had to stop him. I had to. He was dying. I carried him out to watch the sunset over the golden city, the city he had only heard about in stories. He told me his father had promised to show it to him one day. He asked me to bury him in the ocean, with his ancestors who jumped from the ships, because they knew death was better than bondage. And in that moment, all I felt was sorrow. I had won. I had saved my country. But I had failed him. My father had failed him. Wakanda had failed him. He was not my enemy. He was my greatest teacher. He held up a mirror to Wakanda, and he showed us the ugliness we had refused to see. A king is supposed to protect his people. But what if the greatest threat is not from the outside? What if it is from the inside? From your own history, your own silence? I looked at the walls we had built around ourselves, and I saw them for what they were, not a fortress, a prison. We were imprisoning ourselves, and by doing so, we were turning our backs on the rest of the world. My father believed we had to choose, to be a king to Wakanda or a hero to the world. He chose Wakanda, and that choice created Njadaka. I will not make that same choice. I cannot. So I went before the world, and I broke 1,000 years of tradition with a single speech. I opened our doors. I chose to share our knowledge, our resources. Many of my people were afraid. They said the world would destroy us, that they would take our vibranium, our way of life. They said I was dishonoring my father's legacy. Perhaps. But a legacy is not a stone monument you must protect. It is a living thing. You must tend to it. You must help it grow. You must cut away the parts that are dying so that new life can bloom. My father was a good man, and he was a great king, but he was afraid. I will not rule with fear. I rule with the knowledge that we are all connected. That a child suffering in a city far away is my child. That a war on another continent is my war. That their future is our future. The mantle of the Black Panther is heavy. When I close my eyes, I can still feel the weight of my cousin's body in my arms. I can still hear my father's voice in the ancestral plane telling me things I now know are not the whole truth. I carry these things with me. They are my burdens, but they are also my guides. My regret is my compass. My sorrow is my strength. I am T'Challa. I am the son of T'Chaka, but I am not my father. I am the king of Wakanda, but I am also a citizen of the world. I am the Black Panther, and my hunt is not for vengeance, but for a better future, for everyone. And I do not know if I am a good man. I do not know if I will be a great king. All I know is that I must try. Every day, I must try.